Dream Academy.
Last year, Dream Academy launched without anything but a 2 to 3 minute introduction video to Keyera Curiosity. As a Dream Academy stan, of course I tuned in, sharing my thoughts. Being in a stan Twitter user that I am, I saw the whispers that one member was missing practice. I kind of just let the rumors stay in the Twitter spaces and kept it pushing. However, a year later, the information that early Dream Academy watchers wanted was not only served on a pretty platter, but also put with a ribbon of girlhood and teamwork on top.
And then so hand literally has to get your attention, like things like that. Like, I know
clearly passionate about this, but then there's some people like Manon.
Yeah. Even when I was there, she wasn't showing up.
You voted me out. You voted me out. You have to listen to me. No, I'm listening.
Popstar Academy launched and showed us 2 years compiled into about 10 episodes, moments of stress, high emotions displayed for the world to see. So, as you guys know, watched Dream Academy. But now it is the end. It is 1 year later and we now have Popstar Academy. I was on Twitter and one of my mutuals had retweeted the video of all of them talking in the practice room. And when I tell you guys, I'm not gonna lie, I am a little bit of a messy bitch that lives for drama. So I saw that and I'm like, oh, the girls are fighting. Let me go see what they're fighting about. I just also would like to say, if this is your first time watching me, hi, my name is Keyera and welcome to Keyera Core. And this is pretty much my little corner of the internet where I talk about the media I like, clothes I like, I give story times, whatever you guys want, I got. So yeah, if you like this, make sure you subscribe, like, follow all my other socials. Tomato, you guys know the gist. First things first, when I first originally heard of Dream Academy, I was super excited because at the time, I was a really big fan of New Jeans. So at the moment, Hype was on my good side. I have a little bit of a history with Hype, so we're not gonna say too much, but I'm like, okay, you ate with New Jeans, I'll give you that, so I'm gonna give you guys a chance. And also, I love girls, I love supporting girls, I love girl groups, anything girly, give it to me. And when I saw the trailer, all of them in their school uniforms repping their flag, I said, oh, this is marketing genius, you guys have me clocked in. And off the top of my head, Carly was my #1. I love Daniela, Megan, Laura, Manon, Sophia, Nayong. There was a few Japanese girls that I liked too. I actually really liked Emily as well. At first, Emily had to grow on me, but then I saw her at one performance and I'm like, wait a minute, that girl can dance. Wait, hold on, she's eating, Your Honor. I didn't have any knowledge of how anything was gonna be ran. Like, I didn't know anything. I just knew the girls. They gave me like a 3-minute introduction video and that's how I found out who I liked. Later on, I found out that there would be no actual episodes of Dream Academy, and I thought that was pretty weird because I had my fair share of survival shows. I watched Road to Kingdom with Stray Kids, ATEEZ, The Boys, all of that. I watched a little bit of Island. I watched a little bit of Girls Planet. So yeah, I found out that they weren't going to air actual episodes like an actual survival show, which I thought was a little bit weird at first. And I'm gonna be so honest, in the beginning, I remember talking to my roommate about it and I was like, I feel like it's gonna be hard for me to get to know the contestants without us having a show. But then, you know, word around the street was that they're gonna do a documentary about it later. So I'm like, okay, cool. I guess we'll just get the footage later and we're like just solely going based off of talent, which honestly, I thought that was the best idea. That's how my mindset was. I was not, and I'm not gonna speak for everybody, I'm gonna say for me personally, I was not voting for anybody based off of solely race. Based solely, not just peep that, solely. But I'm like, if you're talented, mommy, and you got it, you're getting my vote. I don't care. Life goes on. I was there for all the Twitter stuff, the Twitter spaces, how Manon stans felt. But at the time, girl, I was so employed. I was employed, babe. I wasn't worried about that. I would clock in, watch my videos, vote, and then go to sleep. Because at the time, I was working overnight at Waffle House. And towards the end, I wasn't super invested. Like, I didn't watch the finale because I was asleep. But I found out that majority of my like lineup that I wanted to get in got in, so I was happy. I went in pretty blind. Later on in the episodes, I find out that the contestants don't know that they're going to be in a survival show, which I thought was crazy in itself. The Naisha situation, I don't want to speak too much on it because there's not a lot of footage out. I don't want to give my opinion based off what I was shown because I wasn't shown enough. Me personally, I thought it was a little bit weird how they immediately went to like kick out the group, and then certain comments that were made I thought were a little bit off, but I still went in open-minded about it and wishing the best for everybody. After a while, once they started adding like ranking systems like class A, class B, class C, that's when I saw sort of the drama starting to unfold in like the competitive atmosphere. Like once they started being ranked, and they were starting to create the environment for drama and for things for drama to happen. And the thing that threw me off is that this was not like from other girls like a lot of people on Twitter was making it seem. Me personally, my first thought from the program is I thought it was coming from the coaches, especially how some of the coaches talk to the young girls. I used to dance myself, so I know how particularly nasty the dance community can be. So I just kind of like, it was kind of just a chip on my shoulder. I didn't say too much, I didn't think too much. I'm just like, okay, that's kind of nasty. The fact that they made them perform in front of everybody. But then I started thinking, I'm like, this is pretty nasty, but like, why are they doing this? Like, what is the purpose? Who created it? And then I looked to my left and I saw him. I can't say too much because as an old army, he had me sat.
So when I first saw that they were implementing a K-pop training style, I just thought that they were going to really focus on the performance aspect of it. That's why I was very excited to see Dream Academy. But then when I tuned in and actually saw how strict they were going with this training, I was kind of taken aback. And I have been a K-pop stan for some years now, so seeing documentaries like the Le Sserafim documentary, or seeing a lot of people that used to be in girl groups or used to be in survival groups speak out on how strict the training system was, I wasn't necessarily excited to have a whole bunch of young girls also be pushed into this environment with no sort of idea why.
Oh, they're really going tough on these girls. Like, I remember my first comment, I'm sorry if this is mean, so please forgive me and please don't ratio me, but I remember my first comment when I saw the girls walking to them dorms and I was like, they were looking around, I'm like, oh, let them have them bunk beds like how y'all did TXT. How y'all did, make sure they have them bunk beds, and they sure enough did have them bunk beds. So that happened, and I was just hoping that because they had a lot of female instructors, and from what I saw, a good amount of nurturing energy around, a little bit, not too much, a slight amount of feminine energy in there. I'm like, okay, hopefully this will be better. And then I found out that they were offering them mental health services, and I'm like, oh yes, let's go. And we get to the therapy scene where all of them are talking about one certain person, and this is where it begins. At the time watching it, this is what I said. I felt like all of their feelings are valid, and what the therapist said was a good idea. Saying I understand your feelings, but to not look at what the world is feeling and internalize it, because all of you guys have a job to do. This is how I took it. I did agree with that. I did feel like their feelings should have been validated. A lot of them were showing frustrations, being like, hey, you know, we work very hard and this is what we're dealing with and this is the effect of what's happening. This is how we're feeling. Point blank, period. When a woman says, this is how I feel, you know what we do? We hush up. We hush up. Immediately. However, I do feel like this therapy session should not have been posted for many reasons. One, I feel like if it was such a detrimental issue to all of the girls, I feel like that is not something that should be highlighted. And then the fact that you have them all set up, like with the lighting and the camera on them, it feels a little bit production-y. Like, to me personally, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. If this was a genuine concern by the adults that are around them, I felt like this scene should not have been aired. Whatever.
After watching the therapy scene, I thought about how Manon was introduced to the group. She was introduced out of nowhere when certain friend groups and certain alliances were kind of already built, class had been established, schedules have been established, and to see all of the members quickly look at her Instagram and see how she looks, same thing with Laura as well, I kind of got a familiar feeling because I feel like as girls, we all kind of know that feeling of when the new girl is introduced and you want to see how she looks like and you want to see her vibe. So that's kind of the information I got. I never really saw the competitive spirit until they were put in a group setting. Lacey, the other woman, whatever you want to call it, it is a key component in girlhood that most of us have experienced at one point. Having that moment that no matter how hard you try, how hard you work, how many tears you put, how many effort you put into whatever task that you want to do, there will always be that one person that not only does it better, but also does it effortlessly.
I need you to be better. Again.
And honestly, that is really all this drama is. A whole bunch of teenagers who are put into this high complex environment, having to showcase things that they are probably most vulnerable about. How they look, their singing, their talent to be displayed not only by their competitors / friends, but also by their bosses as well. And I do agree that everybody who wants to work in the music industry as an artist must have that certain innate drive. They must have that drive in them to constantly do better and to constantly improve. And honestly, I could see in all of these girls, whenever they will work hard and come to practice, how someone can effortlessly, without having to put that much work, end up in top 10 every week. That has to be hard. And those feelings have to hurt, especially knowing that some of them work their asses off to be there. Some of them spending the last of their money to go to a foreign country that they don't know.
So now seeing how everything have played out on Twitter after a while, after seeing the whole series, my thing is, as I do love pop culture and I love being like a fangirl and going on Twitter and like just obsessing about all my little hobbies and stuff like that, I love that for me. However, I do notice that sometimes very, very serious matters pop up and it's kind of seen like a discourse or just like a, what's the word, a tea time topic for the week. As we're having this tea time discourse, other people are being hurt and it's just a lot, and it's just a lot of emotions being jumbled up there. We need to look at the bigger picture of, yes, this is what happened, there was an issue within the girls. Now let's all put our thinking caps together and be like, all right, let's look at like how this was handled, because I feel like one thing that we're all forgetting, that they're all teenagers around this time. I think the oldest person there was like 19, and that's from someone who's 21. Baby, 19 ain't nothing. We're the same age now, so still was 19, I was 19, so we wasn't nothing. But yeah, one, I feel like people are forgetting that these are all younger girls, and two, I think that we're all forgetting that the adults that are put to protect them in this situation, we're seeing that the situation wasn't handled right, period. So yes, their feelings were valid. I felt like, one, the therapy session should not have been aired. I felt like, two, the talking session should not have been aired. I feel like this level of competitiveness and this level of putting people against each other and grading each other is straight up wrong, especially other women. And I feel like this documentary is just them profiting off of the high emotion of young girls. They want to sell y'all a story and y'all got it. The thing that is really getting me is that you guys are being spoon-fed the, oh, this person did this and this person got mad, so this person is in the wrong, because that's easy to be spoon-fed, except for maybe Hybe taking the bigger picture and being like, hey, these are a group of girls who had an issue, this is how we solved it, this is their relationship now. And then I'm gonna be honest, after watching the documentary, I didn't want to come on this camera the guns blazing, because I'm gonna be so honest with you, as I was watching it, I did start to get upset. And I'm like, okay, before I go guns a-blazing, being like bam, 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 let me see their relationship now. And the thing that really gets me about this documentary is y'all put so much effort. Y'all put about 3 episodes in an 8-episode season. Hopefully that's right, because I'm going off of my noggin here. Y'all put about 3 episodes, so almost half of your season, into expanding the beef between this one girl, and then y'all barely show clips of them getting along like the finalized group. I don't know how you, and it's like, if you try to play the, oh, this wasn't marketing for the group, this is marketing for how they made the group, you used the group song in the intro. the group's names in the intro. It's just not bad. It's not a good move. This whole thing was kind of just bad marketing, period. Let alone you guys just profiting off of such young girls and putting them through the emotional ringer just so that you guys can make a slight bag. Because baby, after the marketing of this TV show, y'all are gonna have to promote, baby. Y'all are gonna have to put that in turn to work. But I just think that overall this was bad marketing. If you guys want to debut a girl group, if you guys wanted to debut a group, why would you make a documentary, explain, like, after the group is already out, include people who didn't even make it in the group, talk about your voting system, talk about how the effects of the voting systems that the fans participated in affected the people in the show. So now the fans feel shitty because they did this stuff to other people knowing they had no control. You and I, let's all hold hands when we say this, we all wanted Isabella in the group. If they were making a 9-member group, I think we would all be happy. If they were making a 9-member group, we would all be happy. Like, this is just bad marketing. Like, why would y'all do that? And now we have 2 of the girls getting hate. One of them, I know a few of them is warranted. I don't know much about what they did. I know they did some sneaky stuff, so I will leave it for you guys to make your own opinions on that. But I know one girl, Adela, she is getting a lot of hate for what she said about Manon. And 1, do I think it was right? No. But 2, I think that they were all just put in such a high emotional environment to where it's like there's some people who's gonna lash out. And I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but like I said, whenever there is a large group of females, especially young, in a high-tense environment, there's always going to be one person that is the odd person out. Always. Is it right? No. Does the girl deserve an apology? Well, yes, I think so. However, there's nothing we can do now. The documentary was released a year ago. I think, Stan Twitter, we gotta let it go. We got to let it go. I need it wrapped up by the end of the week. Thank you.
And now that we're talking about marketing, I love talking about marketing. It's literally my dream job. But honestly, I feel like if this company wants to see this group really reach the level of success that I want and that I think they can have, because this is a very, very talented group, they will need to address the many different cultures and ethnicity that is in the group of all of the girls, not just one. But you guys also need to make sure you guys have a very, very tight legal and marketing team doing their best to protect these girls, especially since this is a young group of girls that are all people of color, if I may add. They are going to receive backlash from their fans because they are women, from the world because they are women and people of color, and honestly from everybody else. So we just need to make sure that we have this group on lock, that we are putting the sake of this group and their music and their love for music first, and also their mental health first, period.
For my final opinions, I'm not going to sit here and pretend and be stupid and pretend like I wasn't a Manon stan. Like I said in the intro, I wasn't voting for anybody solely because they were black. But seeing someone like Manon, a very soft, quiet, kind of artsy black girl, go into this space and kind of thrive, and also have other people be like, oh, she's an it girl, I'm not gonna lie, I was moving. Of course I went there in honestly all intentions of making sure that she is supported and making sure that her as a black woman, it just for me personally, for me having other solidarity with black women, I'm going to try my best to make sure that I put other black women in areas to succeed. And I also love to have fun. I'm also going to put that out there. So I don't ever want to make anything a what about race situation, but because racism is something that is deeply embedded in the United States, and I'm not even talking just white and black, I'm talking about like Japanese and Chinese, like racism against other races, period. These are not things that should be ignored. Me as a black person, I saw signs that other black people their feelings weren't being acknowledged, and they were talked to in ways that I felt like were a little bit disrespectful. Prime example, I did not like how the dance teacher called how she danced aggressive. only because C is a hip-hop dancer. That is what C probably auditioned with, along with rapping, which is what I saw from the intro. So this is just from what I'm seeing from the information that you guys are giving the audience. The fact that you called her dancing aggressive, like she's not trained in hip-hop dancing, it just kind of rubs me the wrong way. And also, like in that YouTube clip I put before, and like I said earlier, there's always going to be an odd one out in such a high, intense environment. It happens every time. Look at psychology studies. However, we cannot ignore certain social patterns that does tend to happen a lot in society. Am I saying that girl was getting hated on because she was black? No. However, I feel like she wasn't given enough leniency. She wasn't given enough grace as another teenage girl working in that program like the other girls were. Strictly because of a lot of preconceived notions. And I feel like as a fandom, I understand how people are viewing this as a lot of Manon solo stans, but if you really take a step back and you look at these accounts, a lot of these are other black people who wanted another black person that looks like them, like everybody else wanted representation. We saw another black person that looked like us, and we wanted to make sure that she was put in the best possible environment. Are some of us going about it the right way by calling out other members? No. However, from our point of view, and this is just to add a little bit of final discourse in this discussion before we wrap it up. In our defense, we saw another black girl that looked like us, another weird, quiet black girl that, because they're not jumping for the moon or doing above and beyond, they were labeled as weird or off-putting, or for some odd reason we just can't click with her, and some of us felt mad. But anyway, like I said, it's just a show. Let's wrap this discussion up, and I hope to see you guys again. Hi guys, I hope you liked the video. This is it for now. Hopefully I will be back soon with another video. But if you guys want to see more of me, I always post on Instagram, and I make sure I post a lot on TikTok as well. So yeah, I hope you guys like this video, and please don't ratio me in my comments. Everything I said was my opinion. It was just to add for the discourse, and I don't want no beef. I don't want no beef. I don't want no drama. Please spare me. Thank y'all. Goodbye.